Here we go, hit. Hello there folks, and welcome to Bullets for Bucks. My name's Stephen Bresnaugh, and today we're going to be comparing the Weatherby Mark V Backcountry 2.0 Carbon against the Tikka T3x Superlight. Now, do take note, this isn't an aftermarket stock, but I do have the original stock, so we will be comparing it against the original factory configuration. Starting with the Weatherby, you have a 3D hex recoil pad. It's really cool in design. It's like skeletonized. It's pretty stiff, and unlike the first version, it doesn't deform when stored on its butt stock. Traditional comb on this pretty much has a sling swivel stud, and the stock is made of hand-laid carbon fiber by Peak 44, which is a company that's owned by Weatherby. A little bit fatter than traditional grip here, or palm swell. Then coming forward, it has a Cerakoted bottom metal with a floor plate. Depending on the caliber, it's 4+1 capacity. Features a curved Trigger Tech field trigger, adjustable down to 2.5 pounds. I have an aftermarket trigger in here right now. And then coming forward, you can get this in a titanium version receiver or a steel receiver. This is the steel, it's Cerakoted. It has an integral recoil lug, which is quite beefy, and it is spot bedded in the front with metal pillar bedding. Has a 2-position safety. On safe, it does lock the bolt in place, and it has a 54-degree bolt throw. To remove the bolt, you have to push down on the trigger as you pull back on it. The bolt is a skeletonized tactical bolt knob. It has 6 locking lugs. This is the Mark V 6-lug action, not the 9-lug action. Socko style extractor and a plunger ejector. This one is chambered in 6.5 RPM. Then coming forward, you have a about medium contour fore end, not overly fat or overly thin. Front sling swivel stud, a BSF carbon fiber wrapped barrel that's fully free floated. This is a 24-inch barrel, not including the muzzle brake, and it's threaded 5/8 by 24. Comes with a Cerakoted radial muzzle brake. All right, now let's take a look at the Tikka, starting with the stock. Its original configuration, this is a black stock. It has a pretty hard recoil pad, about 1 inch thick. A fiber reinforced polymer stock, kind of feels like plastic. Average palm swell here. And then it just has a plastic interior here with metal pillar bedding. And it has a recoil lug that's recessed into, it just sits in a slot in the stock, and then it sits into a slot in the receiver. Medium contour fore end on this. A little bit thicker, I would say, than a Christensen Ridgeline, but a little bit thinner than this Weatherby. Front sling swivel stud, so you can put a sling on there or mount a bipod. The barrel is fully free floated in it. Does not come spot bedded. Then we come to the barrel action itself. This is painted black, but normally it's all stainless steel color. Has a 70-degree bolt throw, and the bolt runs like glass in these. Super smooth, but a little bit sloppier than the Weatherby. Has a side push button bolt release similar to the Weatherby. More of a traditional style bolt knob. It's hollowed out to reduce weight. Has a coned bolt face with 2 locking lugs, a plunger ejector, and a Socko style extractor. On this one, when the safety is locked to the rear, it locks the bolt in place so that it cannot be removed, as seen here. When forward, obviously, you can remove the bolt and or fire the firearm. Had a fully free-floated stainless steel 23.4-inch long barrel that's straight fluted, is not threaded for a muzzle brake or suppressor. And the barrel is 22.4 inches long and has a mag capacity in its normal configuration with a single stack magazine of 3+1. And it weighs 5.9 pounds. All right, now that we've gone over some of the basic specs, let's head to the range and see how these perform.
It's true then on your gun.
A little stiff opening up the action there. And it did not eject the round. That's not a good sign. Let's see what happens here.
Every time you go to keep this guy? I like it when there's no difference in the scope feel for you or me. In other words,
that one was right on top of the first one. Man, this action is freezing up on me. It is stiff. Extremely accurate though. That's probably an 1.25" group. I'm not sure why I'm having troubles pulling back on the bolt. It's wanting to seize up on me. We're using the Weatherby Factory Ammunition Select Plus. This is the 127 grain LRX with the Barnes bullet. Should be shooting about 30, let's see, I think they're about 3,225 feet per second out of a 24-inch barrel where you got the muzzle brake on here. Let's shoot one more. We're shooting at the upper right square here. This is an ultralight rifle, which inherently is more difficult to shoot. Way upper right there. Let's try one more. One's about 1/4 inch from the first. Once again, the zero is going to be off because I am breaking this in and it's barely been shot. I mean, this is the first couple rounds out of this gun. A little bit better group there, probably 1 inch, maybe just over 1 inch. There we go, hit. So this 127 grain Weatherby Select ammunition traveling at 3,225 feet per second is so flat shooting. I'm not used to that. I'm guessing holdovers here. All right, folks. So in conclusion of the Weatherby Backcountry 2.0 carbon rifle in the 6.5 Weatherby RPM, I gotta say, it didn't shoot quite as good as I expected out of the box. I've had $600 rifles shoot as good as it. Groupings were about an MOA at 100 yards, you know, give or take. One thing to note is that it hasn't been broken in. Several more times of shooting and cleaning, and I expect those groups to easily tighten up to a 1/2 inch, or I could move to the 140 grain ammunition and see if that shoots better. Because we're subjecting this to a very limited amount of testing with really no break-in period, that has a dramatic effect on group sizes, so take that into consideration. I was surprised that it wanted to seize up, and I struggled to pull the bolt open a couple times. Nice. Held a little too much wind on that one. Feed's really nice. It is a little bit stiff pulling that round out of the magazine. It's definitely tight tolerances, but that's actually a good thing. It seems to function fine. Just has some resistance to it. That one was dead center, or close. Functioning great here. Not really trying to shoot a super tight group here, but all right. Function. All right, so as you could see, this Tikka T3x Superlight still holds its own, still shooting good. Yeah, I didn't shoot it for groups today, you know, you know, I just took a bunch of really actually pretty hasty shots. and about a 10-mile-an-hour wind at 400 yards on that oval. And it did fine. It did absolutely fantastic. It cycles great, it feeds great, it ejects great, extracts fine. It's still accurate. So absolutely no complaints from this Tikka T3x. All right, now that we're back from the range, let's talk about some of the results. Using Weatherby factory ammunition, I did have problems with brass casings getting stuck pretty hard in the chamber area. After using this rifle more, I was able to successfully harvest a caribou in Alaska with it. Go ahead and check out that video. And the problems resolved themselves. I do suggest, though, that if you were to run into similar problems, to talk to Weatherby customer service, as they have excellent customer service and it's safer to do so. Apart from that, the rifle shoots about 1 MOA with factory ammunition, which is acceptable for an ultra lightweight rifle that weighs only 5.9 pounds and is even lighter than the Tikka, which makes it inherently a little bit harder for me to shoot precise and accurately consistently. The Tikka shoots absolutely fantastic. Given the small amount of sampling of factory ammunition, though, it's difficult to say one is more inherently accurate than the other. I was able to achieve sub-0.25 MOA groups with the Tikka with factory ammunition, but I have shot it a lot more. It averages about 1/2 to 3/4 MOA if I do everything right. The Tikka action does run a little bit smoother, but has looser tolerances than the Weatherby. Both have excellent single-stage triggers that are adjustable down to about 2.5 pounds. And the bolt throw on the Tikka is 70 degrees. The one thing I don't like about the Tikka is the cheap feeling stock and the very cheap bedding system. Apart from that, both feel excellent. I do like the look of the Weatherby better and its fit, feel, and function a little bit better, barring the problems I had with the brass getting stuck in the chamber. Both are excellent choices for the backcountry hunter. Obviously, the Tikka comes in at a much cheaper price, so if you're on a budget, pick the Tikka. If you want to spend some extra money, have something that looks beautiful, pick the Weatherby. Hope you enjoyed this comparison of the Weatherby Backcountry 2.0 Carbon versus the Tikka T3x Superlight. Thanks for watching Bullets for Bucks. Check out this next video and subscribe.